He could have been king. Instead, he washed feet. Jesus of Nazareth. A man who turned every rule of power upside down. Everyone expected him to lead like a king, to command armies, to overthrow empires, to take power the way powerful men always had. But he did the opposite. He served. He lowered himself. He chose humility when everyone wanted him to choose dominance. And in doing that, he revealed something about power that most people still don't understand. The greatest strength isn't in rising above others. It's in lowering yourself beneath them. And that truth changes everything if you actually understand it. So let's go back. About 2,000 years ago, ancient Judea, under Roman occupation, the people are waiting for a savior, a Messiah, someone to free them, to restore their nation, to make them powerful again. And everyone knows what that looks like. A warrior, a king, someone strong, someone who will fight, someone who will dominate. That's what a leader does. That's what power looks like. Then Jesus shows up, and from the beginning, nothing about him makes sense. He's born in a stable, not a palace. His parents are nobody special. He grows up as a carpenter. No royal blood, no wealth, no armies, no connections. And when he starts teaching, when people start following him, when the crowds get bigger and expectations get higher, he still doesn't take power the way everyone expects. He doesn't position himself above people. He positions himself below them. He hangs out with the wrong people. Tax collectors, prostitutes, the sick, the outcasts, the people respectable leaders avoid. And he doesn't just tolerate them from a distance. He eats with them, touches them, treats them like equals. This confuses everyone. If he's supposed to be the Messiah, why is he acting like a servant? If he has power, why isn't he using it to dominate? If he's great, why is he making himself low? And Jesus keeps saying things that make it worse. He says, "The first shall be last, and the last shall be first." He says, "Whoever wants to be great must become a servant." He says, "If someone hits you, turn the other cheek. If someone takes your coat, give them your shirt too." This sounds insane to people. That's not how you win. That's not how you gain power. That's how you get walked over. That's weakness. But Jesus insists it's strength. The greatest strength there is. And he doesn't just teach it, he lives it. In ways that shock everyone who's watching. There's this moment. Right before he's arrested, right before he's killed, he's with his disciples, his closest followers. These are the guys who left everything to follow him, who believe he's the Messiah, who are expecting him to reveal his power any moment now. And what does he do? He gets down on his knees, takes a basin of water, and starts washing their feet. Not metaphorically, literally. He takes the job of the lowest servant in the house. The job nobody wants. The dirty, humiliating job. And he does it himself. For them, Peter freaks out. He says, "No, you can't wash my feet. I should be washing yours. You're the master. You're the teacher. This is wrong." But Jesus says, "If I don't wash you, you have no part with me." And then he explains, "You call me teacher and Lord, and you're right, that's what I am. But if your Lord and teacher washes your feet, you ought to wash each other's feet. I've given you an example. Do what I've done." That's the moment. That's when everything becomes clear. He's not teaching a theory about humility. He's showing them that real greatness looks like service. Real power looks like lowering yourself. Real strength looks like choosing to be last when you could be first. This is revolutionary. Because every other system of power says the opposite. Climb, dominate, take. Use your position to be served, not to serve. That's how you show you're powerful. That's how you maintain control. But Jesus says that's backwards. That's the path to emptiness, to isolation, to being powerful but alone. Real greatness is in lifting others up. And you can't lift others up if you're standing on top of them. You have to lower yourself to lift them. He proved this with his life. He didn't cling to status. He didn't demand respect. He didn't use his power to protect himself. When people came to arrest him, he went willingly. When they mocked him, he stayed silent. When they crucified him, he forgave them. And here's what's crazy. That moment, that execution, that's supposed to be the ultimate defeat, the ultimate humiliation, the proof that he failed, that his way didn't work, that choosing to be low instead of high was a mistake. But it's actually the moment everything changes. Because his willingness to go that low, to accept that suffering, to give up everything, that's what gives his message power. That's what proves it's real. That's what makes it spread across the entire world for 2,000 years. The cross becomes a symbol, not of defeat, of strength through humility, of victory through surrender, of power through service. It's the ultimate proof that lowering yourself doesn't make you weak. It makes you unstoppable. Now, let's bring this to your life. Because you're probably doing the opposite. You're probably trying to rise, to climb, to position yourself above others, to be served instead of serving. And you think that's how you become strong, how you become successful, how you become great. But Jesus would say you're doing it backwards. That path leads to loneliness, to anxiety, to constant competition, to always looking over your shoulder, to being powerful but empty. Real strength is different. Real strength is choosing to lower yourself when you could elevate yourself, choosing to serve when you could be served, choosing to lift others when you could push them down. Think about your relationships, your family, your friends, your co-workers. Are you trying to be above them, to be right, to be respected, to be the most important person in the room? Or are you lowering yourself, serving them, putting their needs first, making them feel valued? That's humility. And humility builds connection, trust, loyalty, love. Pride does the opposite. Pride isolates you, makes everything a competition, turns relationships into hierarchies. And eventually, you're alone at the top, wondering why nobody actually cares about you. Or think about work. Are you trying to climb over people, take credit, make yourself look good at others' expense? That might get you promoted, but it'll make you hated, and eventually it'll destroy you. But if you lower yourself, if you serve your team, if you make others successful, if you give credit away instead of hoarding it, you build something real, something lasting, something people actually respect. Jesus showed that the leaders people actually follow, the leaders people actually love, are the ones who serve, not the ones who dominate, not the ones who demand respect, the ones who give it. Here's another angle. Think about your ego. How much energy do you spend protecting it, defending yourself, making sure people see you the right way, proving you're smart, successful, valuable, important? That's exhausting. And it never ends. Because your ego is fragile. It needs constant feeding, constant protection, constant validation. And you become a slave to it. But humility sets you free. When you're not trying to be above others, you don't need to defend your position. When you're not competing for status, you don't need to worry about losing it. When you're comfortable being low, nobody can bring you down. Jesus modeled this perfectly. People insulted him. He didn't defend himself. People challenged him. He didn't need to prove himself. People rejected him. He didn't chase their approval. He was free. Because he wasn't clinging to status or ego or position. And that freedom gave him power, real power, not the power to force others, but the power to influence, to inspire, to change hearts, to build something that outlasts empires. Now, here's what makes this really hard. Humility looks like weakness. Society will see you lowering yourself and think you're losing. They'll see you serving and think you're inferior. They'll see you being last and think you're a failure. And that's the test. Can you be humble when everyone's telling you to be proud? Can you serve when everyone's telling you to dominate? Can you lower yourself when everyone's telling you to rise? Most people can't. They need the approval. They need the status. They need to feel above others to feel okay about themselves. So they miss the hidden strength that comes from choosing to be low. Jesus said it clearly. Whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted. It's a paradox. The path down is actually the path up. The way to true greatness is through serving. The way to real power is through giving it away. The way to be first is to choose to be last. And this isn't just spiritual talk. This plays out in real life. The leaders people actually follow are the ones who serve. The people who actually change the world are the ones who lift others up. The individuals who find real peace are the ones who stop competing and start serving. Jesus lived this completely. He had every reason to be proud, to demand worship, to position himself above everyone. But he chose the opposite. He washed feet. He touched lepers. He ate with sinners. He died a criminal's death. And 2,000 years later, billions of people follow his example. Not because he dominated, but because he served. Not because he rose above others, but because he lowered himself beneath them. That's the hidden strength of humility. It looks weak, but it's actually the strongest force in the world, because it builds what force can never build. Connection, love, trust, loyalty, things that last beyond power and status and position. Most people will never understand this. They'll keep climbing, keep competing, keep trying to be above others. And they'll reach the top and realize they're alone, that nobody actually cares, that all that power is hollow. But you can be different. You can choose the path Jesus showed. Lower yourself, serve others, put them first, give away credit, lift people up instead of pushing them down, and watch what happens. You'll build real relationships, real influence, real respect. Not because you demanded it, but because you earned it by giving it away first. The greatest strength isn't in being above others. It's in choosing to be beneath them. That's the secret. That's the path. That's what Jesus showed us by washing feet. Subscribe for more ancient truths that flip everything upside down.